Hello everyone, wait here. We're just back into another ice build, and actually I want to talk about PI. But I just want to mention that a Procure jumped into this ice build and basically engaged this retriever because he was suspect. And then he was in a PvP fit actually, like Nosferatu, Swaps Disruptor, weird fitting. And I just scooped in the loot at like 5 million already make. But we now hop back into the spreadsheets, and I just want to show you my PI setups I use and give you a short explanation why I use them. So first we start with the two raw extraction setups. This is this two. The only difference between these two setups actually is this one has 8 factories and this one has 6. What's the main reason for this? If you go over 36k an hour with one extractor, you can add 8 factories in one go. Each factory eats like 6,000 per hour. And this is basically 6 times 6,000, this is 36k I mentioned. So if you go above this, you can go and add more factories. The issue with that is you will lose one extractor. So right now you see here in the top one we have 2 extractors, and in the bottom one we only have 1. So you get higher yield with this because you have more less factories but more extractors. And if you have one planet that is very good in one resource and has like 105% or 110% density, you can use this setup. It's basically you reduce the time. Or let's say like this, your factory in the beginning, your extractor in the beginning bumps up a lot of materials, bumps it out, like push. And if you can't use it up with factories fast enough, it will just overflow. So you need to find the sweet spot. And basically what I do is I let it run for like 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then I check how much do they actually do, and then I reduce the amount of factories and maybe increase the amount of extractors and vice versa. So this is basically this setup. If you have a planet that supports raw material to tag 2 of the one you wanted, you can use this two setups. Basically the same thing. The only difference is basically here you can spread it out to like a very thin line. I didn't have a screenshot of this right here, but this basically shows how it goes. You just push the take 2 factory here, take 1 factory here, take 1 factory, storage, extractor, and that's so the other side too. So this is basically the same setup, just a bit more spread out. And you'll use this if you want, for example, build enriched uranium on a plasma planet. You have 1 extractor, which fills in 1 storage. Then you have 2 take 1s, which fuel into the launch pad. It's important. The same on the other side, to do the same thing. Extractor, storage is to launch pad. And what happens afterwards? You take from the launch pad into the 2 take 2 factories. Reason why, if you fuel it directly into the factories and one material is not producing equal to the other, you run into the issue that the overflow is lost, and I don't like lost materials. So that's why I have this setup like this. Then the next setup would be this one. We in Goonsworn have the benefit, like I mentioned in the first video, that the first barren or temperate planet per system has a reduced tax. So like I mentioned in the first video, I produced 2 P1 materials in one system and then fuel it to the barren or the temperate. And this is what I use this setup for. This setup here uses one of the local resources. So if you, for example, on a barren planet, you can use the water from the barren planet to reduce import-export tax. So basically you have your extractor, have your 4 factories turning the aqueous liquids into water. And then you have here, for example, water-cooled CPUs, and you can use water from here to this. Water-cooled CPUs are actually not a good example because you can basically build them with these setups, because you have both materials you need on the same system, on the same planet. So another thing we have here is basically the same as above, but you don't use a local resource. So you just do like import two P1s and make them to P2 on this left side, and on the right side you basically just harvest basic material, basic metal, turn it into reactive metal and just extract it from here. These two setups are actually the same. Setup 7 and setup 4 are actually the same. I made setup 4 actually just to show you like it's not going from one to another. This setup here is a bit more built into each other and a bit more compact, using less launch pads, giving you more space for extractors, just as an example. And then here on the right side, these are basically my two P2 to P4 planets. And I just have one character that has all three of them, and he's getting all the P1, P2 from all of my other characters and turns them into P3, P4. I basically have a very low demand on P3. I have a very high demand on P4. So that's why you only see me building extra robotics in this one. This one builds organic mortars, and you need basically materials for the robotics in the organic mortars, so I just added some more factories. So this here will build organic mortars, like these setups, and then this will build extra robotics, sterile conduits and nanofactory. Same thing here, you build safe harmonizing cores and wet mainframes. And you basically import every P2 you need. And I think in this 3 it's also you need 2 P2s and 1 P1, and that the factories will turn all of it into P4 and robotics. And same thing down here with the recursive computing modules, broadcast nodes and integrity response drones. You just fuel in all the P2 and it will give you all the P4. And you can keep this on a like weekly schedule. You need to import some of the stuff, then move it. That's how I do it. I import all the stuff via the launchpad, fill it into the storage, because the storage is has a bit more space. I think it's like 2000 meters cubed, and that's enough basically that you can fill all P2s with 4000 meters cubed. You could also operate from the launchpad and cut the storage entirely, but I'm not a fan of this, because I like adding equal numbers of each stuff. It's a bit different, because you need to import 2 P2s and 1 P1. You could cut the storages out, but I would use them for extra storage, so I don't need to extract often. And the same thing down here, like in the first one. So these are basically my, yeah, let's call it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. My main 7 plus 3 extra PI settings. If you have any suggestions how to change some things up, I'm always up for comments on this topic. I like optimization a lot, so I would love to get some improvements from the comment section. Then we work it out, like what we can do better. Thanks for watching. This was a really quick one. I had a 30-minute video prepared for PI, and then we got this template thing that it's made it so much easier, so I just basically save most of my time, split it up into 2 videos, like how I plan and how I do. And this will be uploaded today, and we uploaded the how we plan already, that you all had like 3 or 4 days to watch it. And now we can actually build up our entire PI and basically go to the lazy omega ISK video and have our PI fueled to get the easy omega. Thanks for watching. This was Waits for now, and let's check how far we are on our ice process. The chunk I was mining is dead. That's unfortunate, because I actually was hoping I don't need to pay more attention. But no, we just find the next one. And yep, see you in the next video. Waits out.